I'd rather show you what I got. Where I walk, where I talk. See me flying down my route, pass me the ball. I ain't dropping none, I don't fumble at all. Winner, chicken dinner every time we ball. Throwing it like a burner, I dunk it like LeBron. Hey. Monday Night Fredo, Infinity TV. Monday Night
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome live to Monday Night Fredo here, live from the Infinity Studios in Los Angeles. What a weekend it was with the NFL playoffs. Believe it or not, I am here to give you all the latest. Actually, currently right now, we're late in the fourth quarter, guys. Later in the fourth quarter for the end. And the end of Tom Brady, it might seem like right now, because Tom Brady's time in Tampa Bay is coming to an end right now. We're going to go ahead and see what's going to happen with the final score. But the Cowboys actually showed up and backed their talk up, because we know Cowboy Nation likes to talk a lot. This time they came into Tampa and took care of business. They're up double digits right now on the Buccaneers. I'm gonna go ahead and give you some more on that. But again, over the weekend, there was a lot more than just what happened earlier today. There was a lot of things happening in Cincinnati and Buffalo, in Jacksonville, and as well in San Francisco. I'm gonna give you the latest right on the NFL playoffs, but as well, currently right now here in Los Angeles, not too far away from us, over at the Crypto.com arena, we got the Lakers and the Houston Rockets. The Lakers are facing a 4-game losing streak right now, and believe it or not, the last 2 games have been 2 of the worst losses they've experienced so far this season. I'm going to let you know what I think about that, because believe it or not, Thursday night, losing that double overtime against the Dallas Mavericks, where they were locked at the end of the fourth quarter and at the end of the first overtime. But they ended up giving that 3-pointer to Luka Doncic to force a second overtime. And then from that moment on, they let it get away. And again, last night, it happened again, where Darvin Ham kind of realized he wasn't a coach and knew that he couldn't call any timeouts, especially when he had 2 timeouts left. Let Russell Westbrook run that away, but I have a lot more to say on that. But I do want to go ahead and touch right now on the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys actually the live update right now, where with 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, Dallas up 32-6. It is a very good thing for Dallas, and this is what I'm going to say about the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott over the past 5 years or so has been getting taken down by the media. And, over and over they say, hey, Jerry Jones overpaid Dak Prescott this offseason. Jerry Jones does not know how to run this team. They keep saying that to Cowboys and Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, you look at Michael Gallup, you look at some of those key guys that got out there, and you got to give a lot of respect to not to Stephon Diggs, to the other Diggs brother, the great cornerback. They went into Tampa Bay and took care of business, even though Tampa Bay is under 500. I mean, why is Tampa Bay even in the playoffs right now? Entering the playoffs, they're 8-9. 8-9. I mean, that NFC division over there was just awful in order for Tampa Bay to make the playoffs and host a home game while being 8-9 and facing the 12 win Dallas Cowboy team. But looking at what the Dallas Cowboys can possibly do moving forward, yes, they just won this game. Yeah, they're maybe going to be hyped, but they got to keep their foot on the pedal. The way Dak Prescott played today, I mean, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Dak Prescott. I mean, this is the Dak that Jerry Jones and all of Dallas Cowboy Nation has been looking for over the past few years. Yes, he broke his leg. Yes, he's been having some ankle surgeries and ankle problems, but now he's healthy. He's out on the floor. Tony Pollard, another beast, another animal who is just running through the gates. But the matchup that we're going to see next Sunday night in San Francisco, we're looking at the Dallas Cowboys and the Niners. I mean, Brock Purdy. Let's go ahead and start off with Brock Purdy. Saturday afternoon, first game of the wild card weekend. We look at Purdy and the Niners facing the Seattle Seahawks, which in the first quarter it seemed like it was kind of tough. It was tight. Seattle was kind of like showing up and showing that they are capable of possibly winning this game. But it only took into the second half until Brock Purdy and the 49ers said, excuse me, excuse me, Seahawks. Please take a step back. You're the 7th seed. And they just put their foot on the pedal. They ran through the Seahawks and eliminated the Seahawks. After the Seahawks had a very good season. I mean, believe it or not, Pete Carroll out there, Geno Smith. I mean, I got a chance to see Geno Smith and Pete Carroll come over to SoFi Stadium and play the Chargers here in Week 10, and they took down the LA Chargers. Here at home, Geno Smith looked terrific. He just looked like another guy. He didn't look like the Geno Smith we knew in New Orleans, or the Geno Smith that was in Miami, or the Geno Smith that was in New York. I mean, this Geno Smith, it's a whole different version. But it seems like Pete Carroll might have something with Geno. I mean, they got to save some money. They got rid of Russell Westbrook. They got Geno Smith. Still took him to the playoffs. So that's a good sign for the Seattle Seahawks to possibly look into next season. But looking at what Brock Purdy can really do, I mean, he got the weapons. You got Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I didn't know or really realize how good of a pickup that was for the 49ers a couple of weeks ago when they made that trade right at the deadline. Getting Christian McCaffrey from the Carolina Panthers was a very, very big move, especially with Deebo Samuel, getting hurt, being in and out of the lineup, complaining about the touches. I mean, now you got a for sure running back that's going to be running the ball like no other. And that's exactly what they proved to everybody on Saturday afternoon when they took down the Seattle Seahawks. So that game was pretty good. But now we look at the matchup, Cowboys and Niners. Very interesting. But moving on to the following games that happened yesterday as well was the kind of surprising the Cincinnati Bengals. The way they played and they kind of took control of that game, they kind of let it get out of hand. For some reason, this NFL weekend has been a little weird out there. But with the Cincinnati Bengals allowing the Baltimore Ravens to kind of stay in the game, was very interesting because that just lets you know that, the brother, John Harbaugh, really has been coaching this team for the past 12 years. I personally, I mean, you see Mike Tomlin, who's been coaching over 10 plus years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's hard for a coach in the NFL to maintain his team and keep them focused throughout so many years, because at times I feel like as a player you might get tired of your coach. Sometimes you need a change of scenery to be able to see what else you can get out of yourself, because one coach being there for so long, not much success. Yeah, they won one Super Bowl in 15 years, but I mean, you really don't want to be a team, even though it's hard. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. It's really, really hard to win a Super Bowl. But Baltimore really got some things to take care of, because with the case, when they look at Hurley being out there as a quarterback, as a fill-in, after Lamar Jackson has been, out with this ankle injury, but it seems like Lamar Jackson is going to test the free agent market this upcoming offseason. So expect Baltimore to maybe throw some huge money at Lamar Jackson for him not to go elsewhere, but there is opportunities for Lamar Jackson. Another game that went down to the wire was the Buffalo Bills and the surprising good Miami Dolphins with no Tua Tagovailoa. That was a very good game. You look at the guy, I forget his name. I mean, he was a third string quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. He ended up starting, and Skylar Thompson, that's his name. Skylar Thompson ended up taking the Bills all the way to the last minute of the game and really put it to them, because it seemed for a second that the Bills were going to get upset by the Miami Dolphins. And believe it or not, Buffalo survived. Miami, Skylar Thompson, you had a very good game. You had me on my feet watching you. But it was a very good win. Buffalo kind of snuck that one away. But the next game is going to be Buffalo and Cincinnati. That's going to be, wow, that's going to be a good matchup. You got Josh Allen on one side and you got Joe Burrow on the other. I mean, that's going to be something to watch for. That's two young quarterbacks that are just kind of meeting, two elite quarterbacks. I mean, impressive quarterbacks, but Buffalo is at home. So it seems like Buffalo might have the advantage, but who knows? Joe Burrow is he's different. He is different. And he proved that in the Super Bowl last year against the Los Angeles Rams, that he's different. He really can put the ball where it really needs to be. Because when I was watching him the other day, Jamar Chase and all of his weapons just seem like they all connect. It's just a connection at times that you have with your teammates that it just seems like, wow, it seems like they've been playing for years. But no, they haven't been playing for years. But luckily, Joe Burrow got lucky and they drafted his own college teammate. So how lucky can that be? You're the number 1 overall pick as a quarterback, and your team also gets a chance to draft your wide receiver teammate that you've had at LSU. So that combination right there, that's the reason why it seems like they've been playing along. They've been playing together for so long. But with that being said, let's get over to the next game, which this next game, I'm going to go ahead and talk about. I got a lot to say because, and this is what's going to lead me off to the next segment here right after commercial break. I'm still 48 hours in shock of what happened down in Jacksonville on Saturday night. I was with the Charger family. I was with the Thunder Alley and Bold School. So shout out to those two big major groups out there. We were out over there in Inglewood, California, Saturday night. Big Charger event. Big people out there. Amazing people. Had a fun time out there. Right across the street from SoFi Stadium. Big restaurant. It was nice. We were getting the chance to watch the game there as they were throwing a very nice event, and it was one of the most. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm gonna save more of my thoughts because I'm still as shocked and like I'm upset for Justin Herbert. I feel the pain that maybe he feels that it's not his fault. Yes, that's right. I said that. It's not Justin Herbert's fault. A lot of people want to put the blame on Justin Herbert. Well, why did Justin Herbert only score 3 points in the second half? There's a reason why he only scored 3 points in the second half. There's a lot more reason on what's going on with the latest on Chargers head coach Brandon Staley. A lot of people thought Brandon Staley was out as a coach after Saturday night's blowout loss. It might seem like it because they were held scoreless throughout the second half towards late in the game. But is he coming back? I've been talking to lots of people. I've been trying to figure out, like, okay, it's 48 hours already. Why have they not announced anything or say anything? I will bring you guys the latest on what I know on what's going on here in Charger land when we come back here on Monday Night Fredo live from the Infinity Studios. You don't want to miss this because I have a lot of things to say. We'll return.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
And we are back here live from Los Angeles. Yes, the city of angels here that a lot of people like to think that is one of the best sports cities, but not over the last 48 hours, especially for the only LA football team that actually made the playoffs. You know, a lot of people want to consider them being the San Diego Chargers. Me being at an event this past weekend over at a Charger event, I looked around the room. I looked around, saw some great balloons that kind of made it seem like it was a celebration of something. But when I really looked closely at the balloons on the wall, I got a chance to see it said not Los Angeles Chargers. It said San Diego Chargers. And I was kind of scratching my head a little bit. I'm like, is that okay to have around here? I mean, you have San Diego Chargers, even though a lot of people are so salty, are so pissed off at the Chargers after they left the city 6 years ago. I mean, it's been that long that the Chargers have left the community of San Diego. And they didn't just leave just to leave them behind. No, they left for certain reasons. Maybe because of money. But Dean Spanos, owner of the Chargers, left because he didn't get the deal that he wanted at the end of the day. You know, it's the city council, the government out there, the laws, and, you know, all the rulings they had that, you know, they didn't collect the money that they needed to collect in order to make a new stadium down there. So he decided, you know what? I'm just going to go up the 5 freeway, go with Stan Kroenke. He's building a new stadium down there. Let me go join him. That's exactly what Dean Spanos did. And for them just to go up a few hundred miles up north to Los Angeles, the community in San Diego is very, very annoyed right now. A lot of people, I know a lot of San Diego fans who were San Diego Charger fans, no longer are Charger fans. They've openly told me a lot of times, they're like, you know what? I don't like that team. That team no longer exists to me. They're dead to me. When I hear those kind of words, I'm like, well, are you just jealous that your team just left to another city? It's like, let's say this. Let's say that you get married to a young, beautiful lady or to a young guy. You get married. You love this person. You're in love. All of a sudden, he's like, you know what? I think I found something else. I think I love that person now. And they left you. And you, after years and years and years, you're still mad. Like, it's a bad energy that's still in San Diego. And for that energy to travel up north to us here in Los Angeles, looking at San Diego logos and San Diego Charger logos, it was a little uncomfortable. But it took to the point where that 27-0 lead happened for the Los Angeles Chargers at the beginning of the second quarter. I was maybe tuned out of the game at that point. I'm like, wait a second. Am I just watching a 27-0 ass whooping in a way that they were just dealing the Jacksonville Jaguars? I mean, believe it or not, Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick in 2021, threw 2 interceptions in the first 3 minutes of the game. It took 4 interceptions in the first half. At that point, the Chargers had no takeaways. None of them. They didn't give away nothing to the Jacksonville Jaguars, leading into halftime 27-7. Up 27-7. I had a phone call during halftime. Longtime season San Diego fan. He still supports his team right now in Los Angeles. He called me. He's like, Fredo, I know it's 27-7, but this is not over yet. I cannot believe they're letting this team get back into it. And I'm like, don't worry about it, man. It's all right. It's 27-7. What else do you expect? You think they're actually going to blow this away? No, just relax. Enjoy yourself. We're going to Kansas City next week. Then here comes 24-17. And here it comes 27-20. Then here comes 27-24. Then here comes 27-27. And now we're in a tie ball game. And I'm a little shocked. Like, my jaw was maybe all the way down to my chest. And I'm looking and I'm like, what? What just happened? Like, it was just 27-0. And now it's 27-27. And one thing that I thought about, guys, was, what is that man doing down there? And I'm looking, the camera's pointing at him, it's panning on him. Brandon Staley, head coach of the Chargers. What has he done in the second half of this ball game? You realize that the Chargers are in this position for one specific reason, and it's been Justin Herbert. It's the reason why Justin Herbert is so good, because every time he throws the ball and they kind of bring him out, let him out of the leash, because sometimes it seems like the Chargers, and I guess a lot of people want to point fingers at the offensive coordinator and Joe Lombardi. Joe Lombardi is the one that has the leash on Justin Herbert. At times, he kind of takes him off the leash, let him run around, do his thing. Sometimes they have him on a tight leash. And they're like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're not going to risk that. And I get it. I get you're trying to play a safe game when you're up 27-7, 27-14, and it's kind of coming slowly. And you're trying to, okay, all right, let's play this. Let's be conservative out here. Let's do this. Let's try to do this and try to maintain the focus on the team. Eckler did not run for anything. Keenan Allen was not catching anything. Why was that? A lot of the play calls. I wish I had the transcript right now to break it down to you guys on the screen, where I can show you exactly of every single play call that was called, and at the time in the situations that it was called. It took till I don't want to put also the blame on Joey Bosa with the unsportsmanlike conduct call that kind of pushed him a few more yards, bought them more time, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things that went on late in this game, but for this situation. For the situation that it was, for you as a head coach to be up 27-0 in the playoffs, and the previous week playing one of your key wide receivers, breaking his back, being out for the playoffs, now he's sitting in his home in Los Angeles watching this game, this meltdown you guys had. As a coach, I personally don't know and don't have no idea why he will return as a head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. But I don't know if this is breaking news, if you guys want to count it as breaking news. But someone did mention to me earlier today that there is no chance that the Chargers will fire Brandon Staley. When I heard that today, I was like, well, I get it. I understand. The Chargers, Dean Spanos, the ownership, they're cheap. They don't like to spend any money. So I get that they're not going to go out and spend money on Sean Payton, who is available, one of the greatest coaches in the NFL over the past 2 decades. He's available right now. And you want to know how available Sean Payton is right now? Sean Payton is a normal, he does normal appearances on Fox Sports every single week. Every single day. He's on Fox Sports. He's on Skip and Shannon. He's on The Herd. He's on all the other networks on Fox Sports. And Sean Payton loves to talk about the Chargers. He always has his little smirk on his face when he talks about the Chargers. Sean Payton lives about 2 miles east of SoFi Stadium, down the street in Manhattan Beach. He bought his home a few years ago. That's where he's been at, relaxing this past offseason. We'll say over the last season, ever since he left the Saints, he's been sitting in his couch, watching football, watching the Chargers closely. Of course, he even said it himself on the air. He's been watching his team very closely in Los Angeles for the one reason only of becoming the head coach of that team one day. There's been a lot of reports. He's been open about that. So the other connection that makes it a lot more clear is that Joe Lombardi, the Chargers offensive coordinator, was also the same coordinator for Sean Payton in New Orleans when they won the championship under Drew Brees. So there is a connection with the coordinator and Sean Payton already. But it seems like Brandon Staley is not going anywhere. So the hope of Sean Payton possibly coming to Los Angeles is going to take the Chargers ownership to possibly put some money out there, make a big paycheck for this man, because I honestly believe I'm crossed right in the middle of whether Brandon Staley should go or stay. I want Brandon Staley to stay. I love the man. I love his leadership. I love the way he talks to his players. But a lot of times it's not how you talk to the players. It's not how you treat your team. It's about wins and losses. All right. That's what matters at the end of the day. I can have the best relationship with you, but if we're not winning, there's no need for you to be here. Derwin James, Pro Bowler, safety for the Chargers, who got a big major contract this past offseason, has said openly after Saturday's loss, he said, hey, look, I'm Derwin James. I'm going to use my voice to make sure Brandon Staley stays here with our support. So everyone within the team is supporting this man. They want him to stay. They feel like they're building something. But sometimes ownership, it might have to come through in this situation. Because there's a lot, and I can tell you a lot of people that are not happy with the head coach, Brandon Staley. But I get it. You're cheap. Don't like to spend money. Keep it. It's like you buy a car. You have the car for 10 years, 5 years. It's getting older. You're like, it's still running. Why buy a new one? Or, hey, I'm going to go buy a used car. Why buy a new car? I just need something that's going to run me from here to the liquor store or from here to the corner store. Like, If that's the mentality that you're playing this game, then maybe it's time for the Chargers to sell. It's maybe time for the Chargers to sell because that's something that they've been considering over the past few years ever since arriving in Los Angeles, because they knew that the value of the organization is going to be triple the size that when it's in San Diego, now in Los Angeles. So that's a big, big major step that the Chargers need to go ahead and think about. But with that being said, guys, I have a lot more to say on the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA when I return here on Monday Night Fredo. But with my last thoughts and concerns, the Chargers had an amazing year. It did not go the way they wanted. They got a lot of things they got to work on. Hopefully, some changes will happen. But as of right now, again, it seems like the Los Angeles Chargers are keeping Brandon Staley here in Los Angeles. I will give you guys the latest. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Fredo Cervantes. But when I return, I'm going to talk about another coach in Los Angeles who's not doing good at all. Maybe these two guys might want to take a trip together somewhere or go sit down and have lunch together. Talk about the bad decision-making they both do to lose crucial games for the city of Los Angeles. When I return here on Monday Night Fredo.
Hey guys, you got to check out the Pure Life Alternative Wellness Center. It's a family-owned and operated pre-ICO, Prop D compliant, and recreational collective serving Chatsworth, the San Fernando Valley, and the surrounding Los Angeles areas. They offer discounts for all our veterans and seniors 55 plus, as well as first-time patient and referral discounts. You can order online at purelifesfv.org. That's purelifesfv.org.
And we're back here on Monday Night Fredo, guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in here. We're a few minutes away from the end of the show, but I do want to go ahead and close this out with you guys because it is upsetting when you see a young coach making some crucial mistakes, because one thing that really just scratched my mind, and believe it or not, for the people that have been watching Monday Night Fredo know how much I support and have a major support for Russell Westbrook and what he's capable of doing out on the court. But at the same time, if I have Russell Westbrook, if I have LeBron James, if I have other key guys on my team, like even Dennis Schroeder, who I love a lot, the way he's been playing this whole year, if I have those guys on the court, and I'm down by 1 point, I got to give the ball to someone else rather than Russell Westbrook. And this means no disrespect to Russell Westbrook, because I think Russell Westbrook is capable of getting the bucket when needed. But in a situation like this, where you get the defensive rebound off a free throw, and you got 9 seconds left on the clock, and you're down by 1, and you're letting your team, and this is exactly what Darvin Ham said, head coach of the Lakers, after the game. Well, you know what? I thought that was a good matchup. I thought I saw Russell Westbrook there with the ball. I'll take that every day out of the week, and I'll take it twice on Sunday. What the F do you mean you'll take that twice on Sunday? It was Sunday. You took it twice? You're going to take 2 misses from Russell Westbrook? I mean, you're being guarded by one of the best defensive players out there in Joel Embiid. And you're going to say that you're going to take that twice on Sunday, Russell Westbrook against Joel Embiid? You have 2 timeouts, 2 crucial timeouts to use to run a play, run something with LeBron James, maybe Thomas Bryant, who's been playing great as well, or Dennis Schroeder, pick and roll, something. But for the Lakers and Darvin Ham to say that, like, hey, you know what? I'll take that twice on Sunday. You are crazy. You are crazy, Darvin Ham. Decision making like that might only give you a 1 year shot here, because I honestly, you know, I mean, you guys have been hearing me and me saying this. I'm not a fan of Darvin Ham. I've been very critical of Darvin Ham since he started here in Los Angeles. And for him to be the 3rd worst team in the Western Conference right now. Yes, everyone wanted to hop on his train last week or the past few weeks when they won 5-6 games in a row. But look at the record now. Look at it now. We're third in the bottom. We're not even in the play-in right now. Like, it's ridiculous in what the Lakers thought Darvin Ham really was, because he's really not capable of even taking us to the playoffs. And that's my close right there. For all the Laker fans out there right now, the Lakers are not going to make the playoffs this year at all, man. It's going to be devastating again, because it sucks for LeBron James. It really does. It sucks for LeBron James. It also sucks for Russell Westbrook, because he's been the only one that's been out there every single day playing his heart out. I mean, triple-double last night. Come on, off the bench. It's ridiculous. Darvin Ham got to be better, and I hope he gets better pretty soon. But with that being said, I appreciate everyone for tuning in here on Monday Night Fredo. Next week, we'll have some very good things. Hopefully, it'll be pretty exciting. And I'm not forgetting about everybody out there that's been supporting all year long. I appreciate everyone. Make sure you guys follow us here on the Infinity Studios on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well, at Fredo Cervantes. We'll bring you guys all the latest. But again, let's get Darvin Ham out of town. Let's get out of here with that last thought. Let's go. Adios.